So as we do with all of these meetings, we begin with, is there any public comment on items not on the agenda? If you're out there virtually, if you want to raise your hand, we'll call on you. Okay, seeing none, we'll roll right into the agenda. The first one, Adrian Beck comes to us today with an emergency proclamation.
Okay. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay. So as is kind of our pro forma, as we go into fire season, we use indicators to determine when it's appropriate to have the elected officials declare an emergency for that particular event. In the past couple weeks, we've seen our fire danger rapidly increase and our conditions rapidly plummet to the point where we think it's appropriate to have the commissioners sign an emergency declaration so that it can afford our incident commanders access to our emergency operations plan and the authorities that are contained therein. So right now, when we drafted this emergency proclamation, we had just reached into very high fire danger, which is our typical threshold for requesting this action. As of yesterday, our fire danger had reached extreme.
Okay.
Yeah, all need do is look out the window. And thank you so much for all your service in these types of things, Adrian. So I would move that the board sign an emergency proclamation for wildfire in Missoula County.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then Adrian, is there a way for the public, or is there a site for the public to kind of follow along on, follow these indices?
Yeah, so there are several websites that are managed by different agencies. We will be populating our portion of the website under the Office of Emergency Management, but there are also Montana DNRC and the U.S. Forest Service have a collaborative website, fireinforestrictions.org. I can get that out. I think that's the right one, but essentially, they're tracking the fire danger and any restrictions that may be placed on public lands or on private property for the public to follow.
Great, thanks.
Thanks, Adrian. And this next item is yours also.
So what you have before you is an interlocal agreement between Missoula County and the Montana Department of Justice, specifically for their public safety radio network. We've been working with DOJ and the Montana Highway Patrol to assess some of our sites, our public safety communication sites, and their suitability for them to place infrastructure for their better purpose and for continuing to build out their coverage area, specifically in Western Montana. And so this interlocal agreement is really just a way to memorialize relationships and expectations of both parties to ensure that we don't interfere with each other's operations. Specifically, they are looking to place new equipment at Miller, where they've been for many years, and then new equipment up at Point 6, where they have not been before.
Great, thank you. Any questions?
Nope. I move that we authorize the chair to sign the amendment to contract 20-25-5-41-179-0.
Okay, we got it. Thanks.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Adrian.
Thanks, Adrian.
Okay, moving right along. Is Kara out there?
Hi, this is Sarah. I'm covering for Kara today. We had conflicting meetings, so this is for the extension of our contract from DPHHS for the Healthy Montana Families Home Visiting Programs, which is Nurse Family Partnership and Parents as Teachers. They're moving to a federal fiscal year this year, and so this is an extension of the first quarter to get them to that federal fiscal year. So this is the funding for this first quarter, which would be the bridge, I guess. So just asking you to sign the amendment for that contract.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, great. This is a great program. All right, I would move that the board authorize the chair to sign Amendment 2 to the contract with DPHHS.
Second.
Any further discussion on this? Seeing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
Is Cindy Farr on the line?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay,
So-
take it away.
This item is our annual contract that we get from DPHHS. It covers a lot of our chronic disease programs. It includes the Tobacco prevention program, the MAP program, the Montana Asthma program. It's a home visiting program for kids, diabetes prevention program, basically all of our chronic disease programs, they put all into one contract. You might recall that in the past, we were also getting tobacco money for Mineral and Ravalli County under this contract, and we no longer have to do that. So it's really just for the health department here and a couple of programs over at PHC.
Cindy, are those other counties then getting funding directly now?
I believe that they are. They're still getting the funding as long as they meet the criteria for the funding. So there was some problems in Ravalli where they went like 8 months without a tobacco prevention coordinator, but I believe they've fixed that now. So they are still getting that funding. They're just not getting it subcontracted through us anymore.
Okay, as much as that, I'm sure they loved working through Missoula County. Yeah. Okay, any questions?
I move that we approve, or that the chair sign the task order between DPHS and Missoula County.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy.
All right, sticking with the health department here, is Deshane or Sean out there?
I'm here.
Hi, Deshane. Take it away.
Hey, that was actually Sean, but yeah, Deshane's
That
here
looks
too,
like
and,
Sean.
You're Deshane.
yeah.
Oh, I saw I was looking at your face, but go ahead.
Hey
Go
guys.
ahead, Sean.
So we are just looking for a lease extension at the Lucky's Market Vaccine Clinic at Southgate Mall. It's a extension through the end of the year, so through 12/31, $7,500 per month, so $37,500 total would be the expended bill. I suspect, I believe SEMA will actually be reimbursing us for this. And there's just a reciprocal 60-day termination clause that we could either evacuate or they could kick us out. Just a standard boilerplate after that. So that's what we're asking, is just to extend the vaccine clinic lease that we have at the old Lucky's Market site through the end of the year.
Great. I'd move we extend the lease.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks,
Sean.
guys.
Thanks, Deshane.
Hopefully we won't
Thanks,
get
everyone.
kicked out, but. All right, Landy, you have
Ways here.
the next several items. Why don't you just roll through all of them and we will vote on them as a block unless controversy erupts that would
Perfect.
warrant taking them individually.
Yeah,
It's very efficient.
we are doing our best.
All right, so I'm here on behalf of representing Road Court and 3 contracts that are before you for approval. 2 are amended or continuing contracts. One is for chemical dependency counseling with River's Edge psychotherapy, and that is a service that is provided to the participants of our DUI court, Road Court, provides all the treatment, and so that contract is there. There is no fiscal cost to the county. It is all grant funded. All 3 of these will be grant funded. Then the second contract is asking you to approve the contract between Abigail Rogers Law, Pllc, and Missoula County Justice Court. She is contracted and provides defense attorney representation for our participants in Road Court. And again, that is grant funded and no cost to the county. Third matter is a much larger contract and rather exciting because it is funded through a federal grant, and it is a contract through NPC, which is Northwest Professionals. They come in our professional evaluation program. It is a 3-year contract to work and evaluate our effectiveness using evidence-based techniques, matters, what am I saying, practices, and making sure that what we're doing is and for producing the outcomes that we're hoping for. So I would encourage you all to sign all 3 matters.
Absolutely.
Any questions?
I just want to say great work on Road Court.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super, super good program.
Still on my to-do list to actually.
Yeah, I want to go sit in too. But we,
Okay, we're having
Yes, that makes 3 of
graduation.
us.
well, nice.
And we're back in person, and it is
Oh.
absolutely a different feel to work
Bet.
in the courtroom with the participants. So yes,
Bet.
I can certainly let Sam know let you all know when there's a
That
graduation.
would be great. Please do.
That would be
Yeah,
great.
Please do.
Okay, items 6 through 9.
All right, I would move We approve items 6, 7, and 8. Correct.
And 9.
6, 7, and 8. Excuse
6, 7, and 8.
6, 7, and 8.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Second.
Great. Oh my gosh.
That's
You did
okay.
that part.
That's okay. You did it so well. How about we vote on this? What do you think? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all
Thanks,
for the
Judge
commitment.
Holloway. You bet. Now,
Yeah,
I was
another
getting-
MacArthur Foundation.
getting
Yeah.
ahead of myself here. So Kelly McGuire.
Hello, it's really nice to be in
Yes,
person
it
with you
is.
all. It's been such a long time. This is a contract with the Montana Office of State Public Defender. And this is under the MacArthur Foundation Safety and Justice Challenge Grant, which is meant to safely reduce jail populations and reduce racial and ethnic disparities for justice-involved people. And so this contract funds two things. The first is a Native American support specialist at OPD who would specifically work with Native American defendants, identify barriers to success for those folks, make sure they get to court, link them up with referrals and resources. The second is that we would contribute funds towards the creation of a court reminder system. And so that is already set to launch this fall, but it's really simple. It's email, text, phone call reminders for folks about their court hearing. We know that failures to appear is a huge driver of jail population, and most people don't purposely fail to appear. It's forgetfulness or other barriers. So just creating that system in other localities has drastically reduced jail populations. And so that's the two items in the contract.
Okay. Any questions?
No,
Oh, this is fantastic. Long time coming. I move that we approve the contract between Missoula County and Missoula Office of State Public Defender Services.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly.
Emily Brock, we have a Gmax amendment. Is there anyone from the fairgrounds here? Wansberry, can you handle this for us?
I can sure try and pitch it. So commissioners, this is an amendment to the Gmax contract. This would be to pre-purchase steel and some of the other materials which are particularly hard to acquire given our current construction market for the Rocky Mountain Exploration Center and Gardens. So this amendment is just kind of that first procurement piece related to that. And just as a reminder, we are under contract with Jackson to do a guaranteed maximum price build on this. And so this is amendment number 1, just to do that pre-purchase for the building.
Yeah, let's buy it now before it goes up.
Sounds prudent.
I would move that the board sign a Gmax amendment.
Second.
Further discussion on this? Seeing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Chris.
This
Shane.
is Bryce from the Weed District. I just wanted to say thanks.
Okay. Okay. Glad that we did the right thing there.
Yeah.
Shane Stack.
This is Eric Dixon. I'm stepping in for Shane. He had another commitment show up that he needed to attend, so I'll see if I can get through these next two items for him. But this first one with the MOA between MDT and the city of Missoula is part of the Mullen Build project. Mary Jane Boulevard is, of course, the proposed north-south connector to replace Flynn Lane, and with a long-standing safety problem at the intersection of Flynn Lane and West Broadway, MDT had selected this intersection to be the construction to be funded by Highway Safety Improvement Program funds. The design will be completed as part of the Mullen Build project. The design is the county's responsibility, of course, working with DJ&A. And those improvements will be reviewed and approved by MDT, but with the construction being funded by federal dollars, we needed a tri-party agreement with the city, the county, and the state to identify responsibilities with the design, construction, and then ongoing maintenance of the proposed improvements at Mary Jane Boulevard. A roundabout had been considered, but with cost and right-of-way issues, they settled on a standard intersection with a traffic light for the control. So this has been reviewed by John Hart, Erica Grindy, I believe, as kind of a standard agreement with MDT. So we would recommend that the agreement be executed.
Why don't you just roll into the next one, Eric, and we'll vote on both of these at the same time.
Sure. So the next one with the Lolo Water and Sewer District, we have a 5-year contract with HDR for assistance with those systems. And each project that comes up is identified by a task order. And we had previously set up a task order with HDR to develop an RSID for system improvements. And when the ARPA funding became available, we rolled right into asking HDR to help with those applications. They've already been working on the proposed improvements that would have been proposed with the RSID. So a lot of their background work was already done. They have been assisting us with the ARPA applications for the DNRC website. So this is just moving or amending the task order to be from HDR's assistance in an RSID development to HDR's assistance with an ARPA grant application. So it's doing the same work, just a different potential funding source.
All right. Thanks, Eric. So items 11 and 12. What do you think?
So moved items 11 and 12.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks,
Thank
Eric.
you.
All right, let's take the next three items as a block. Cindy Kennedy, would you like to introduce items 13, 14, and 15?
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, Cindy. I saw Emily Brock jumped on, but Emily.
Too late, Emily. We already approved it. We're done. Done. You can stick around, though. There's more excitement to come in the next few minutes.
We're trying to bust through so we can get out to the fairgrounds and check out the demo.
All right, Cindy.
Go ahead, Cindy.
All right. Good morning, commissioners. So I am requesting that the board authorize the chair to sign an application certification form for the ARPA Montana Infrastructure Competitive Grant Program as part of the grant application requirement for the Buena Vista Community Wastewater System Improvement Project. The Missoula County is applying for $300,000 in competitive ARPA funding to augment the existing budget of $1.3 million in grant funding. These additional funds are needed to assure the community will be able to meet the full scope of the project, including adding more lots for much needed affordable housing and paving the roadway after they move the sewer main to the road. And there is more than sufficient match to make the project competitive. Item 2 is similar. Also part of the Buena Vista application. So I'm requesting that the board authorize the chair to sign a uniform application certification form. And this is also for the ARPA Infrastructure Competitive Grant application. And this form is also, like I said, for the Buena Vista wastewater project. And because we submitted a uniform application for CDBG, Community Development Block Grant, and DNRC funding last year at this time, for that same project, they just want us to update it and resubmit it with this competitive grant application. So that's what that form is for. And then the next item is I'm requesting that the board authorize the chair to sign an application certification form for the ARPA Montana Infrastructure Competitive Grant Program as part of the grant application requirement for the Sealy Lake, Missoula County Water District meter reading project. And in terms of meeting the match requirement for that, for the competitive grant, I understand Sealy Lake Water District also requested ARPA funding from the county, but those funding decisions have not been made. And so I understand there's no guarantee there will be sufficient county funding to be used as match. So I just want to make that clear. And Vince Chappelle is here to explain the project, and you can ask him questions about it if you have questions about more specifics. And Vince, please correct us if I'm mispronouncing your name incorrectly.
Name is Vince Chappell, manager of the Sealy Lake Water District. So,
thanks for joining us, Vince. Do you have any just general overview comments you'd like to make on the proposal?
Yes, I'd like to give a quick little overview of the project. Thank you for having me today, commissioners. Again, my name is Vince Chappell, Sealy Lake Water District Manager. We have a project that needs done as soon as possible, and just requesting some ARPA funding or whatever funding is available to help our situation. District's in a situation where we need to replace all the water meters in the system. We installed a Badger radio read water meter system in 2003, and at that time it greatly helped our situation with reading meters and decreasing our water loss situation. But after 18 years of service, that system is failing. Biggest issues that we have right now is the radio read equipment is failing, the computers that read the radios. So we're trying to upgrade our system. The goals are to replace the faulty meter reading equipment. If that equipment fails, we will no longer be able to read meters at all at this point. So, and it is failing fairly quick in the last year. We need to replace the water meters. The meters are a mechanical meter, and over years of service, they lose their effectiveness, thus increasing our water loss, and we're starting to notice that again. Our water loss is a huge priority, trying to keep that under control and keep the plant as efficient as possible. One of the other things with the last year with the COVID situation, I want to try to protect my employees and customers alike as much as possible. So we're looking to install a tower read system, which actually collects the data daily and sends it to our office immediately. Thus, it lowers our chance of being in contact with public, you know, possibly spreading disease or illness or other type illnesses. The other part of the tower read system is when homes have water leaks, the tower read lessens our response time, which dramatically lowers the amount of damage to homes and or other facilities in our town. And this has been issues in the past over years. Our system was put in '69, so it's a fairly young system, but you know, we still have old pipes that fail. The total budget of our project is $265,035. We have applied with the state for ARPA funding, a competitive grant in the amount of $100,000. We were requesting $85,000 worth of assistance potentially with Missoula County, if possible. And we also have matching funds of $85,035 to put towards the project. Again, I just request that the Missoula County Commissioners, Missoula County, please consider our project. We're just trying to make things as efficient as possible and help our customers and keep the cost to our customers as low as possible. So I appreciate your allowing me to be here today to present that to you, and thank you for your time.
Thanks. Great. Josh?
Can I add one last thing?
Yeah, really quickly.
Yeah, real quick. So the applications, the competitive grant applications are due on the 15th, Thursday. And so if we can get those forms signed and back to us as quickly as possible, that would be very helpful. That's it. Thank you. Thanks, Vince.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vince.
I'd move we approve items 13, 14, and 15.
I think Juanita seconded. Was that a second? That's a thumbs up. Okay. Any further
It's a
discussion?
second.
Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Cindy. Moving right on to our next item, Kyla. We have an appointment to the Parks and Trails Advisory Board.
Yes, we have a vacant seat that expired June 30th, 2021. The current member, Susan Stanley, didn't seek reappointment. So we actually have her seat, and then we have one alternate seat, and we had 4 new applicants. We have one motion to move the first alternate, Ron Slater, to a regular member term, and that would be a new 3-year term ending June 30th, 2024. And then the second motion would be to appoint the new applicant, Jessica Glepke as first alternate to fill the remainder of that term, which is through June 30th, 2023.
And we are still doing some interviews, I believe.
There are 3 additional interviews, 1 this week and 2 next week.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and take care of these 2 items now and then continue with the interviews for the alternate.
Yes, they're having quorum issues for their meetings, so that's
Get this done.
Okay. What do you
Okay,
think?
I motion to appoint or move Ron Slater to a regular position and appoint Jessica Glepke to the alternate. She's skilled in tactical empathy, so I think she'd be
Whoa.
a great addition.
Yes.
2 words you don't hear together often.
But is she strategic in the empathy? I don't know.
Yeah, imagining wearing like a SWAT guy suit.
Tough love.
Tough love. Tough love. That's what that is. Okay, Kyla, you're up next. Second that.
Did Juanita make the? Oh, she did make the motion.
Motion.
Okay. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Big Sky Park.
Big Sky Park Stewardship Committee had 2 vacant terms. The 2 current members, Wally Sept and Laura Baker, their terms expired June 30th, 2021, and they have reached their term length limit. We had 4 new applicants, Mitch Firm, Aaron Kautz, Francisca Vittel, and Katie Gonzalez. So there's only 2 terms to fill, and they would both be new 3-year terms through June 30th, 2024.
So I'm prepared to make a motion.
Whoa, that is a bold move.
I am.
Okay, lay it on us, and then we'll tear it apart.
Yes, please do. I would move that we appoint Aaron and Mitch to the Big Sky Stewardship Board.
Okay.
Oh man, I have nothing to tear apart. I second. That was also going to be my motion, but I second that. But actually, can you explain what terms are ending this coming year? If there's a reapplication opportunity?
All of the terms are through June 30th. So the next time that terms would expire would be June 30th, 2022. So these 2 are the only 2 vacant terms right now.
So could we, when we're reaching out to the other 2 applicants, let them know that I think all of these were super, and
Good. They're all good.
just encourage those folks to reapply because we'd love to see them in the mix.
Yeah,
Of
please. This isn't so much of a no, it's a yes to later.
Of course.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so much.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Or
Aye.
did we just vote?
No.
Man, I am losing
That was a second.
today.
Now we did.
Okay.
We did now.
Unanimous yet again. Okay, thanks. Next.
Lolo Community Council, bringing it back before you. We had the commissioner appointed seat expire May 31st, 2021. There's 2 applicants to consider for appointment. Warren Kingdon, previous member submitted his letter of interest to serve 1 term and is eligible for reappointment. And then we had 1 new applicant, Ashley Scully.
Yeah.
Is there? Oh, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah. I don't know how best. Should we do a little discussion before this? Or?
Well, I would just say that I did reach out to the chair and got some feedback, and I think this is probably a good time for some new blood. And I believe there will be an opportunity to fill an alternate once they amend their bylaws.
Correct. Yes.
And so so anyway, I would suggest that maybe Ashley would be someone who we'd appoint, and certainly Warren could apply for the alternate later on.
I've heard this same information from them, the time for new blood.
And I really appreciated Ashley's interview and how steady and collaborative she was, and I think she'd be a great fit. So I motion to appoint Ashley Scully to Lolo Community Council.
Any further discussion on that? Seeing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to West Valley.
West Valley Community Council currently has 2 vacant seats. We had 1 new applicant, Damon Leishman, and it would be for a new 3-year term through 2024 of May 31st, 2024.
Okay, what do y'all think?
Dave, I thought he was fantastic, and he's the one who has a master's in strategic leadership. There's where strategic comes in.
Yeah, lots of time in really dangerous places. So the West Valley Community Council should be not be difficult.
Yes, I think they will be well served by his participation.
Yeah.
So, did I hear a motion in there somewhere?
Yeah, I move that we appoint Damon Fleischman to the West Valley Community Council.
Second.
Any further discussion on appointing Damon? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And last but not least, it looks like we have a couple standard employment agreements. Anything to add here, Chris?
No, again, these are just renewals for existing providers. It does also bring these two contracts into sync with partnerships, 1-year policy for their providers through June of that. And just as a reminder, partnerships providers are not funded by taxpayers through property taxes. They are funded by a sliding fee schedule, which is hard for me to say today.
Excellent. What do you think?
Well, I motion that the board approve the standard employment agreements for 20 and 21.
Well done. I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any correspondence, discussion items, or anything else of an urgent nature that we need to address?
We're a little pressed for time.
Yeah.
Unless you could do it like 1 minute.
Yeah, I can give you one.
1 minute, 1 minute, okay.
So just by way of a quick overview of what we were facing right now relative to wildfires in Missoula County, there are a couple areas to the west that have potential to move into Missoula County and do have some potential to impact private property. So we're keeping a close eye on what is now called the Granite Complex, which is up the Highway 12 corridor. 3 fires burning in that area, mostly in Idaho, starting to encroach into Montana and Missoula County. Right now, the primary concern is Lolo Hot Springs, and so the Type 3 Incident Management Team and the Sheriff's Office have been doing notifications and some preparatory work around the hot springs. Feel really good about that right now, but something we're keeping an eye on. Additionally, there is a complex of fires on the Superior Ranger District on the western side of the Lolo National Forest, primarily burning up near Thompson Falls and outside of Superior. One fire in particular, the Deep Lookout Fire, is burning towards the 9 Mile Divide. And so we have been in planning meetings with the Sheriff's Department and that incident management team as far as long range planning for potential evacuations and or impacts to private property in the upper 9 Mile area.
Well, keep us.
Yeah.
No, that's
good.
great. Keep us posted. Thanks for all your work on that.
Juan, we're going to run out to the fairgrounds and we'll FaceTime you when we're there to look
Awesome.
at the hard-sided shelter.
Fantastic.
We should.
Are you?
Oh,
yeah, we have another meeting at 11.
we're going to be late for it.
We'll be slightly late. So, okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone.